Hello everyone, very lovely to have you here. Welcome. Hello Vicky, hope you are all right. How are you today? Hello Jasmine, nice to see you too. Happy Friday. How are we all doing? Hello Lynn, nice to see you too. Thank you all for being here. Hello Rachel. Oh, it's so nice seeing everyone. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm all right. I posted earlier. I am feeling annoyed today. Do you know when you just have that inside you? I just feel irritated, and I know what it is, but I'm hoping this next hour will cheer me up a bit. Oh dearie me. Julie V. Stever, hello from California. I bet the weather's nicer with you, isn't it? It's miserable here. It's all grey and cold and rainy. I've had to put my heating back on. Oh, nice. Vicky, you're in Costa having a coffee. Oh, lovely. I've got a glass of water that I've had hanging around since this morning. So I've got that. Not as nice as a coffee, though. What do you go for? What's your favourite coffee, Vicky? I like... Oh, this says a lot about me, doesn't it? I like an oat chai latte. What about you? Let's have a look. Jasmine, are you too? So Jasmine, I was chatting with Jasmine in the week, and you said, oh, you feel really salty, and I feel salty too. Do you know that kind of grr feeling? So you and me both, Jasmine, are salty. I'm hoping that our saltiness doesn't transfer onto anyone else. I'm hoping that everyone else is going to send their love and send their niceness to us, so that we end up feeling all right. Let's have a look. Chris says, I like a skinny flat white. Yeah, nice. I like a flat white sometimes. That's my next one after a chai latte. Chris says, hello from Tasmania. That's so cool. I love that. Welcome from Tasmania. I've never been to Tasmania, but what an amazing place. Vicky says, hazelnut latte. I've never had a hazelnut latte. I bet that's really nice. Might have to do that next time. Oh, Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, hello, lovely Sarah. I'm sitting on my balcony with a cup of coffee. Oh, nice. What's your view like, Elizabeth? What are you looking at? So Julie says, what is salty? Well, that's such a good question. I think, well, Jasmine came up with the term salty, and I feel salty. What salty means when you're irritated, when you're annoyed, when you're angry. It's not like I'm going to do anything. I'm not going to go and punch someone, but I just feel grr. Do you know what I mean? You know, someone picked an argument. I'd be up for an argument today. Oh my goodness me. So I hope that explains. Let's have a look at some more of these coffees. All right, Chris says, or an oat flat white. Yeah, I like oat milk. I don't drink cow's milk, so I like oat milk. So that's good. Lynn says, you've got this, ladies. Yes, we have. So how come you're salty today, Jasmine? What's going on? Who else is feeling salty? Let's have a look. Oh, we've got some more coffees coming through. Jasmine said, I had such good plans for today and it's all gone to... I feel for you. It's rubbish, isn't it? It's really rubbish when you had things planned. Yeah, sorry about that. Rachel says, I'm a standard cappuccino girl. Nothing wrong with a standard cappuccino, Rachel. I like one myself sometimes. Excellent. Let's see. Oh, Denise. Hello, Denise Coppin. Nice to see you. Yeah, I was just saying, my apologies because I'm feeling a bit salty. That's Jasmine's word. I'm feeling irritated. It's just something that's happened over the last little while. It's been building for a bit and it's kind of coming to fruition and I'm just irritated. Do you know? and it will go. It will pass. My husband came home before he then went out to play golf again, which is fine. I'm not irritated about that. But he could see, and he gave me a big cuddle, so that made me feel better. But I'd been hoping that I could maybe go out for lunch, because food is my calming mechanism of choice in moments like this. Anyway, so. John says, I love a skinny latte. Excellent, that is good. Bev, nice to see you. That is lovely. Morning, Sarah. Good to see you. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. I hope so too. Yeah, I hope everyone. What's everyone got planned? We're looking at. So my questions so far to you are: what's your favourite coffee? Because Elizabeth is sitting on her balcony drinking coffee. Vicky's in Costa drinking a hazelnut latte. So I'm just wondering what your favourites are, and what have you got planned for this weekend? I can't read this name. R.I.P. Thomas Cook. I've just had my last ever day of school. Not sure how to feel. Wow, that's just a massive change, isn't it? Your whole life is just gonna become something completely different from now on. Yeah, I think that's normal to feel a bit sort of, a little bit ooh, a little bit ah. I suppose there's a little bit of sadness, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of wonder what's going to be next. I'm assuming you probably have exams coming up, but yeah, I'm glad you're here. Hopefully some of the stuff we talk about today maybe can help you. Elizabeth says, I love a black coffee or a cafe latte. Let's see. Hello, Ems. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Are you all right? Hope that you're okay. Jasmine says, I love a caramel oat latte because I'm basic. I've not had a caramel oat latte. I might just go into town this afternoon and get one just because. That's nice. I like that. Yeah. Holly Barnes. Hello. Says, I love your TikToks. So I'm thrown there because my nephew's partner is called Holly Barnes. I'm thinking, but she spells her name Holly differently. I'm just thinking, Holly, this is not you, is it? Is it you? If it's you, tell me. If not, hello, Holly Barnes number 2. Nice to see you. Hello, Diva. Nice to see you. Elizabeth says, I finished my laundry as always on a Friday. Love a cup of coffee now and listen to you. That is a nice thing to do. I like that. I think that's great. Really good. Really good. Let's have a look. What else is going on here? Oh, loads and loads of comments and questions coming through. Let's have a look. I don't like missing any of them, you know. It's like I see them, they all burst through, and I think, oh, I don't want to miss anyone. So I'm like scrolling backwards and forwards, trying to see them all. Chris, Anna, I know that feeling. Yesterday I was okay, today I'm flipping low. Oh, well, I hope that we can help you sort of raise up a bit. Hopefully by the end of this, you and me and Jasmine and whoever else is feeling a little bit salty, a little bit grouchy, a little bit low, hopefully we can begin to change our state so we feel a little bit better about ourselves. It was interesting because I posted earlier on, I did a post on TikTok earlier on today saying that I was feeling a bit grouchy, and I had a few people saying, oh, it's really nice to see that you're normal. And we all are. And like, you know, I'm a therapist and I've got all these tools that I can use, but it's human to feel grouchy sometimes. You know, I am grouchy for a reason, and I know that it's a temporary period of time, and that's okay. And I'm just going to accept it. And, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I'm not going to do anything drastic. I just think it will pass, and it is what it is, really. Let's see. Nice to see everyone joining us. Thank you for joining us. My name's Sarah, and I'm going to be talking about anxiety today, answering any questions you might have about anxiety. We're talking about what coffee is our favourite coffee at the moment. We're talking about what you might be doing for the weekend. And just saying hello, really, whilst everyone joins us. Missy B, is that? Missy B 902. Hi, Sarah from Perth, Western Australia. Hello, it's really nice to have you here. My youngest son's favourite person lives in Perth, Western Australia. So welcome. It there. It's really nice to have you here. Let's have a look. So lovely to see you. Denise said, I've been working so never get to jump on your lives. Well, I'm glad you're here now. That's good. And Chris Anna says, got nothing planned as such, take it hour by hour. I think sometimes we have to, don't we? We just take it easy, take it as it comes, aware that, you know, we've got stuff going on for us, and being curious, really. Curious about, oh, I'm feeling this at the moment. Why am I feeling like this? What's happened to make me feel like this? And accepting that, yeah, there are things that we can do to help ourselves. You know, we can be with people who can perhaps help us to feel a little bit more positive, a little less grouchy or a little less low. Sometimes, because of what's going on in our lives, it's very difficult to do anything about it. So, yeah, hopefully we all can just make a small difference to ourselves. So I can see here Bethany Butler says, I get work-related anxiety. The night before work, I struggle and panic with anxiety. I'm a nurse. Okay, let me just make a note of this. So I'm really sorry to hear that you're feeling like that, Bethany. It's really horrible, isn't it? That sort of, you know, Sunday night feeling of, oh, I've got to go to work in the morning. And it's interesting to sort of look at that and wonder, what is it particularly about work? Is it the people? Is it the actual job? Is it how you feel about yourself in the job? What is it that is particularly difficult for you? I'm going to just make a note of that, and I'm going to come back to what you can perhaps do to help yourself. So hopefully that's all right. Missy B has got a question here, saying, I'd like to go out for dinner, but struggle with eating out. Okay. Righty-ho. That's difficult, isn't it? When you really want to do something, but your whole nervous system is telling you, don't do that, don't do that. So, okay. So I've got those two questions written down. I'm going to keep checking for what you're doing at the weekend and what your favourite coffees are. I'm Sarah, I'm a therapist. I'm a QCH therapist, which stands for Quest Cognitive Hypnotherapy. I'm also the training manager at the Quest Institute, and the Institute is where we train new therapists. So I'm a bit biased. I think it's a great place. I love working there, and I love training new therapists. But that's what I do. It's a talking therapy. It's a framework of lots of different therapies that come together to treat people with all sorts of different mental health issues going on for them. I do these lives every Friday. We're here for an hour, and I've got an amazing team of people working with me in the background. I've got a team of three moderators. So we've got Lynn 250, Vicky Hodson and Jasmine, and they are so kind. They're not therapists, but they are just amazing, kind people with life experience, and they come every week, and they'll be the ones that keep this a really safe place. So we don't take any old nonsense here, especially not when I'm feeling grouchy today. It's about being kind to one another, because we all have stuff that goes on in our lives, and so it's about accepting and honouring and respecting what's going on for other people, even if we don't understand it, even if we disagree, even if we think, oh, actually, well, what if you did this, what if you did that? It's about being kind. And so Jasmine and Lynn and Vicky are the people that, you know, if anyone steps over that line and is silly or unkind, then we're kind of zero tolerance, as we mute and then we block, and sometimes we just block straight away. So thank you to them for being here, as always, to help me because these, you can see the comments come thick and fast, and I don't always see everything. So if I don't see your question, then my apologies. If you can't stay for very long, if you're just popping in, if you're at work and you're having a sneaky TikTok break, then if you look on my profile, there's a link which will take you to my YouTube channel, which is Sarah Ayres Therapy, and all of my lives are uploaded to there. So you can watch it in your own time with a cup of tea or a glass of wine or whatever you fancy. So let's have a look. Vicky is going south to stay with a friend and go karting and have bottomless brunch. I love a bottomless brunch. How lovely. Kate is going out. Oh, Kate likes a mocha. I love a mocha. I've only had a couple of mochas in my life, but I really like them. Denise likes a gingerbread latte. Very nice. Elizabeth, I just want to go relax, go for a walk and enjoy the sunny weather. Brilliant. Freya the Fae. So Freya is saying, any tips for chronic anxiety? I'm also autistic, currently sat dreading work, and it's a job I like. Okay. Okie doke, thank you for asking that question. I will come to you and hopefully I can answer some of those points. Oh God, let's have a look. Sigh. Welcome. Sorry, I got mixed up on my words there. Let's have a look. So let me answer some questions rather than be rambling on, even though I really like talking about coffee and just chatting. Let's have a look. So Bethany says, work-related anxiety, how do I cope with that? And this might apply to you as well, Freya, because it's difficult, isn't it? We can feel anxious about work. You can have that Sunday night feeling. It might not be Sunday night, but you have that feeling of, I dread going into work. And it will be different for all of us. Sometimes it can be something that's going on, like you've got people at work that you don't like or who are being mean to you. It may well be the fact that you don't actually like your job. It may well be that you're feeling overwhelmed by the job that you have to do. Maybe you're not being supported at your job. There's all sorts of reasons. What's the best thing to do is to look at your reasons, to be curious, to think, okay, what is it about the anxiety that I'm experiencing around work? And look for patterns. Are there days when you don't have that anxiety? And what's different about those days? When is the anxiety at its worst? That sort of thing, that sort of questioning, looking at what's the pattern here. Is it every day or is it just some days? That's an interesting thing to be curious about too. And as Lynn says, thank you, Lynn, for commenting. On my profile page, on my grid, there are lots and lots of techniques and answers to some of your questions. So if I don't see or answer your question right now, then do go and have a little scroll through. There are categories at the bottom of the page. So being curious about what it is that you're actually anxious about. Quite often with anxiety, our brain is making matches. So sorry, let me just break in here. George says, completely off topic, did the White Company reach out to you after pass them your details? No, they didn't. But thank you for asking. So yes, so that's totally thrown me, sorry about that. So it's about being curious about what's going on for you and realizing that our brain can make matches. So even if, like Freya, you actually really like your job, and yet you're still, when you're not at your job, then like the night before or going into your job, you're thinking, I feel really, really anxious about this. Then maybe you're making a match with something that's happened in the past. So it may well be that this is, that's fine, George, don't worry about it. I'm glad you asked. Maybe it's with that sort of thing, it's quite helpful to talk to a therapist, because what we do is we follow that feeling back and we go to the first event connected with the feeling that you're experiencing, whether that's fear, anger, anxiety, whatever it is. Because what's happening is that you'll have had a significant emotional event in your life, perhaps connected with work, perhaps connected with something else, but there's a match that's being made. So this is the significant event, this is work, and something is matching. So that this was the place where you were thrown into fight or flight, into anxiety for the first time, and then every day you're going into work, or you're thinking about going into your work, and your nervous system is going, oh my god, it's the same, oh my god, it's the same. And so you get thrown into that match, and we can do something about that. I noticed someone was asking about QCH therapy. A lot of us work with people who are anxious, and that's one of the things we can do. We can reframe past traumatic events. We use lots and lots of different techniques. So we can do that with work with a therapist. If you don't want to see a therapist, or you can't afford a therapist, firstly, obviously there's your doctor that you can go to, and I know it'll be a long waiting list, but you can always, the sooner you try, the sooner you talk to them, the sooner that they can help you. Also, there are charities, there are free therapies out there that can be helpful. And also, if you reach out to a therapist, you think, I really like this person, I'd like them to be my therapist. Quite often, therapists will have, slots for pro bono work or for reduced rate work. So it's always worth asking. Not everyone does it, and it might be that they've already filled those slots up for now, but why not ask the question? There's stuff that you can do for yourself too, because if your stress levels are up here, then the chances are that you're quite easily triggered. So looking at lifestyle, looking at self-care, looking at creating an environment of safety, and using some of the techniques. Last time we did a live, last week, we did a whole live of practical stuff. It's worth, and we will do that again. So it's worth looking at those practical techniques and doing them regularly. It's not about firefighting. It's about taking practical steps, either seeing a therapist or changing what's going on for you at work. If you need help and support from HR or from your boss or from colleagues, talk to people if you can, and help yourself by using the techniques that I share. So I hope that helps a little bit. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here. Thank you for asking all the questions that you're asking. Thank you to my moderators for being here. What I would say is it really, really helps if you don't mind liking this live, and you do that just by tapping on the screen. And what that does is it tells the algorithm that this is a helpful and popular live, and it senses that there's people liking it and sharing it, and so on, and so it sends it to more people. And at the end of the day, that is my aim, is to help as many people as possible for free on this app. If you have a look on my profile, there's links to lots of things. There's YouTube, there's my website, there's lots of places, and all of the resources on there are free. There's a place called My Quest Hub, which is also associated with the Quest Institute, and again, lots and lots of free resources on there. So please feel free to like, to share. If you fancy following me, then that's lovely too. But no pressure or anything. Please do not subscribe, because I don't want you to have to pay for anything. All right, this is free. This is totally free. Okay, so let's have a little look. Oh, Paramedic Chris, really lovely to see you. Welcome. I'm very well, thank you. I hope you are too. That is really nice to see you. Let's have a look. Just looking through. And yeah, so Natalie says it's hard to just switch careers if you don't like your job. Absolutely. I went through a stage when the job I did before this for a long time, about 15 years, I was a teaching assistant because, it worked for me so I could look after my children, and have the school holidays and all of that kind of thing, because I couldn't go back to my old career once I'd had children. It just didn't work out. And I went through a period of time where it was absolutely awful. There was this awful woman who bullied me. She was an absolute cow. She really was. Even now, I'm not a mean, nasty person, but she's the one person that I would just seriously have no love for her whatsoever. And I know that's a failing of mine. I should be kind and considerate, and I am, but I know how I feel, and I couldn't just leave my job. I needed the money, so it's hard. So it's about asking that question. Okay, what can I do? What can I do to help myself in this circumstance? So let's have a look. Yeah, I know you've had, I think lots of people have experienced bullying, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. Happy birthday, Paramedic Chris Books. For tomorrow, you're 40 tomorrow. That is so lovely. If you have got children and you're interested in children's books, go and have a look at Paramedic Chris Books, because hello. My son has just walked in, home from work. Welcome.
Thank you. How you doing?
Yes, anyway. So Missy B, you asked a question, and you were saying that you would really love to go out for dinner, but you struggle with eating out. So I'm sorry to hear that. It's tricky, isn't it? I think when you have something like that, and your nervous system is telling you can't do that, you can't do that, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. What's happening there a lot of the time is that our brain is not actually in the here and now. What is going on is that your brain is way off in the future, imagining worst case scenario of all of the terrible things that might happen, and the chances are that none of those things will happen, but our brain doesn't know the difference between an imagined future and present reality. So if we're imagining, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, it's like we're there, and our brain triggers fight or flight response, and we get all of the terrible physical symptoms and sort of emotional and thought processes that we would go through if we were actually there. So again, I would say to you, have a little look at that and have a think to yourself, what is it particularly about the eating out? Is it the people? Is it a fear of perhaps being sick? Is it a fear of looking stupid? What is it for you that is the thing that's triggering your anxiety around this? Because that will give you clues, and it's, if you can look and go, okay, when are the times when I'm not anxious? Is there a way that I could go out to eat and I'd feel okay? So would it be all right if I went to a cafe and had a coffee with a friend? Would that be all right? Would it be all right if I increased that and had a cupcake or something with my friend? Is it about the food? Is it about the friendship? Is it about the number of people around you in the restaurant? What's happening for you? Yeah. So Missy B, you're saying, I always think about all of the what ifs. And it's so true, because our brain is trying to help us. Our nervous system, or our unconscious, is trying really hard to manage a situation that hasn't happened yet, and none of us can do that. We can do our best to influence it. You can decide, I'm not going to go to this big posh restaurant, I'm going to go to this other small little bistro where I feel comfortable, but none of us actually know what it's going to be like, and we do tend to go straight into worst case scenario, which makes us feel rubbish. So one of the helpful things is to bring yourself to this moment, and it's not easy to do that. It's something that we all have to practice, and it's about just bringing yourself, noticing that your brain has gone off into the future, and bringing yourself back to now. And this pinned post that I do, or the triangle breathing, which I think I pinned that as well, but if not, have a look in the breathing category on my grid. And yeah, those can help you, because it's like meditation, you know. If you go on the Calm app, there's a really great, I think it's on the paid bit, which is a shame, but if you wanted it, I think I can send the link, because I'm on the paid calm.com. So just drop me a line and your email, and if you email me, and then what I could do is maybe send you the link. I don't know how often I can do that before they decide what's this woman doing, but he does a fantastic meditation about how to meditate. It's a 30-day 30 meditations. They're all about 5 to 10 minutes long, and one of them is called Home Base, and he talks about giving your focus to perhaps your breath, to perhaps the feeling of your back on a chair, your feet on the ground, and then giving your focus to that, and then noticing when your brain goes off into the future, and then noticing, bringing it back. And then it goes away again, you notice, you bring it back. So it's a skill, you know, it's a skill that we all have to work on to learn. And no one gets it perfect all the time. But, you know, hopefully that would be helpful for you, just to begin to be able to practice just being in the moment, so that your nervous system goes, oh, right here and right now, I'm fine. And maybe it's about chunking things down, so that instead of thinking to yourself, okay, I need to go for a whole meal for like an hour, 2 hours, be kind to yourself. Say, okay, I don't need to do a whole meal. I'm just going to go and I'm going to have a starter, or I'm going to have a sandwich, or I'm going to have a muffin. That's good enough. That's good enough. And then you're collecting evidence for yourself that it's all right. I can do this. It's not actually going to hurt me or harm me. So I hope that that's helpful for you. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for all the likes. As I was saying a little while ago, the likes are really helpful, because they're free for you. They just mean that you get a sore finger from tapping the screen, but it sends this live to more people. And the whole purpose of this live, and all my lives and all of my videos and resources, are that people get some free help for what they're going through, because I think all of us are it's difficult at the moment, no matter where you are. I mean, I work with clients who are across the world, so it's not just the UK. It's really hard to get the help that we need at the moment. I think COVID has had a big effect on people, more than perhaps they realise, and it's tricky. It's really tricky. So yeah, so if I can help a little bit, then I will. So thank you very much for doing the likes. If you followed me, brilliant. That's so kind of you. Thank you. And yeah. So Wendy says, hi Sarah, I'm new to TikTok and your page is brilliant. Well, thank you very much. You've made me feel very, very nice about myself. So thank you very much, Wendy. Wendy Prigmore, that was. So appreciate that. Welcome to TikTok. It's a great place. I came on here just over a year and a half ago, I suppose. And I always thought it was just like loads of really young people dancing. And it is that to a certain extent in places, but it's also like the biggest encyclopedia that you ever found, full of really supportive people. So, right, I'm going to shut the door because the telly's come on in the next room. Hang on a sec. Oh, right, okay. You know when the telly's been on standby and then it just clicks on and it's really loud? So that's what happened there. Anyway, let me have a look. Yes, Jasmine said, I wonder what the noise was. Yeah, it just came on really loudly. Oh, Elizabeth, that's so nice of you to say. That's really nice of you that you enjoy these lives. That's great. Thank you. That's really, yeah. So, and Stove says, can you save your lives? Well, I know you can send them, but they're always recorded. And so if you have a look at my YouTube channel, which is Sarah Aries Therapy, there's a link to it through my profile page on TikTok. If you subscribe every week, I upload all of the videos that I post to TikTok, and all of my lives are all on there, or at least the majority of the videos I post. If they're helpful, hopefully I'll post them. So yeah, so you don't need to save them necessarily. Yes, thank you, Lynn. Lynn was just saying that. You beat me to it, Lynn. Let's have a look. Let's see. So Freya, I'm going to come to you. Chronic anxiety, and the fact you really love your job, but you're nervous and anxious about it, and also you've been diagnosed with autism. I'm going to be coming to you, and I think is that Jeremy. Jeffamy 789. How do you deal with BPD? So that's an area, and I know someone was asking a bit earlier on about what we work with as QCH therapists. Now, BPD is something that we don't work with because we know our boundaries, our limits, the sort of the depth of our training. What we do work with is we work with people who have anxiety, who have depression, who are afraid of whatever it is, people who feel a bit stuck in their lives and don't necessarily know what's going on for them. We also work with addictions. I don't personally, but I have colleagues who work with addictions, who work with eating disorders. A few weeks back, and this is on my my YouTube as well, I did a joint live with Julie Holland, who's a colleague of mine. She's a QCH therapist, and she's on TikTok, and we did a live together. She works specifically with people with eating disorders, but all of us work with all sorts of things. The way that we see it is that everyone is unique. Everyone is coming to us, and we're not looking at the label necessarily. We're looking at who's the person behind the label. The label tells us so much, but then actually what matters is the person behind the label. And with BPD, it's quite complicated. It's quite it's one of those things where you'd be looking at working with maybe a well-trained counsellor, maybe a psychologist, maybe a psychiatrist, and we wouldn't be able to work with that area, purely because our first belief is do no harm, and I don't want to muck up what the hard work that you've put in, or the person that you're talking about has put in to being well. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you, Ariana. I try my best to be as nice as I can be. Doesn't always work, but let's have a look. So let's have a look. Okay, so Lucy says, I have severe anxiety about being on time. Let's just write this down. And so Lucy, I'll come back to that. And there's another one I saw. Oh no, that Lucy. Sorry, it went. That was Melodies. So Lucy says, I deal with fear of leaving the house since being assaulted. Any tips? My apologies, Lucy. I had a feeling that wasn't quite right. So about leaving house following an assault. I'm so sorry that you went through that. That's something that's really, really difficult, isn't it? Potentially, really. So it's not surprising. I think when you've been through something like that, it's not surprising that you have a response to it, that your nervous system is doing its best to help you, to protect you. And Melody, it was the anxiety about being on time. Okay, let's have a look. And there's something else here. Okay, and Claire was saying, Claire Mina White, how do you deal with low self-esteem and thinking people don't like you? Okay, thank you for asking all of these questions. Because the thing is that when you have the courage to ask these questions, what you don't realise is that there will be lots of people who are watching this who probably have the same sort of issues going on in their lives, and maybe they don't have the courage yet to ask a question about it. So the fact that you've asked it means that I can be answering you, but also helping other people as well. So, okay. Thank you for doing that. So let me have a look. So Freya was talking about chronic anxiety, about being on the autistic spectrum as well, not feeling anxious about going to work even though you like your job. So a little bit about what I was saying before about the job perhaps will have been appropriate for you. I think the thing about chronic anxiety is the fact that we're being triggered all the time. So we will have had something happen, you will have had something happen in your life, either one thing, something traumatic, something difficult, a significant emotional event, or maybe a series of events that have happened to you that have perhaps taken away your sense of being safe, your ability to feel really present in the moment, and because your brain was triggered in that situation, it red flags that in your brain. And so it's constantly looking, because you survived it, whatever it was. And it doesn't have to be something massive. Sometimes it can be something big, that you obviously that was the thing. And other times it can be something, quite often with clients of mine, we do the work and they go, wow, this thing's come into my head, but surely it can't be that because it doesn't seem big enough. Well, don't let anyone tell you that your trauma is not big enough. Your trauma is your trauma. When we go through trauma, it's like the rug of life is pulled from beneath us and everything becomes really unsteady. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't look to the outside world like that's a big thing. Actually, it's enough. It's enough to have caused your nervous system to kick in and be saying, we need to watch out. Because our nervous systems are constantly scanning our environment, looking for potential threat. And if you've had something happen in your past, then it's got that, as I say, with a red flag next to it. So if you're getting triggered by everyday things, that's what chronic anxiety is. That's the thing that gives you that sense of, that some people talk about it as like a low buzz, a hum of stress hormones there. So it's almost like if your body was like a bathtub. Oh, thank you, Julie. That's very kind of you to give me a rose. Thank you. If your body's a bathtub, then over time your levels of stress hormones are right up here, and it doesn't take much for it to just overflow and for you to reach overwhelm. So Freya, for you, if you're at work and you might love your job, it's great, it was great people, and yet there's a thing there. It could be something as simple as a colour, a type of person, a view out of a window. It could be anything like that, and that's triggering you every day. And then that's the thing that gives you the anxiety. Does that make sense? I hope so. And so there's a few things you can do about that. Is that all the stuff that I talk about on my page about creating an environment of safety and doing the things to help yourself, help your nervous system to calm down. We cannot think our way out of anxiety. You can tell yourself as much as you like, oh, it's silly, I shouldn't be feeling this way, because your nervous system is not, that's not our conscious mind, our cognitive function that's saying, this is silly. I know that I don't need to be scared of or anxious about this. That is not the thing that's causing the anxiety. The anxiety is caused by our sympathetic nervous system, the protective response that is triggered unconsciously. So if you can connect physically with your nervous system using some of the techniques that I share on my page, then that's the way to bring those levels of stress hormones down, to raise the levels of the hormones that are telling your system you're safe, and potentially go and talk to somebody, talk to a therapist. If you were looking for someone who was a QCH therapist like me, again, if you look through my profile link, then there's a thing called the QCHPA Therapist Finder. There are hundreds of therapists on there, all over the country, all over the world. I would say 99.9% of us work online. as well as, we see face to face as well. But if you're in a different country, if you're abroad and you're thinking, well, this sounds interesting to me, but I can't because I'm not in the UK. Well, maybe go and have a little look and think to yourself, oh, that person looks interesting. I'm going to drop them an email, because most of us give, free phone chats or a Zoom just to have a chat and say, am I the right person for you? So have a look, have a think. You never know. So thank you for asking that question, Freya. I hope that answered you a little bit. So Lucy, I'm going to answer your question next, Lucy. Let's have a look. I'm just looking through here. Thank you all for being here. It is so lovely to have so many people with us today. Thank you for joining us. Next week we've got I've got a real old treat. I think it's next week. Is it next week? The 5th? Maybe it's not. No, it's the week after. Okay, so the 5th of May, I've got my friend and colleague Hazel Gale coming on. We're going to have a chat. That'll be the Friday. I'm hoping it'll be 2:00, but I'll confirm that. She is the co-creator of Betwixt, The Story of You, which is an amazing app. She's also connected to the Clementine app. So she's a pretty amazing person, and we're going to be chatting. So watch out for more details on that coming soon. Lucy. So Lucy said that she feels really anxious about leaving the house following an assault that you experienced, Lucy. So I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. It's completely normal to experience a response, a reaction, and everyone will be different, just depending on you and the way that your nervous system works. So a lot of the time, it depends on what actually happened to you. There are various organisations that have helplines that you can chat to people. Hopefully, if you've been to the police, then the victim support should be able to help you. But if you don't feel comfortable going to the police and you want to talk to someone privately who's experienced in dealing with this sort of thing, then there are lots of organisations that can help you. It depends really on the assault that you experience, and I don't want to go into that on here. And also I'm aware that I don't want to trigger anyone else by going too much into details. But I would definitely talk to somebody. I think it's really important that if it's been a while, if it's been a while and you're being affected by it still, then I would start perhaps by going to chat with friends and family, someone that you really trust. Maybe go to see your doctor. Maybe take a friend or family member to your doctor with you to sort of say, I need some help dealing with this. I think that probably would be more helpful than the sort of self-help that I talk about. So Vicky Hodgson is just messaging you here saying the Survivors Trust is a great organisation. So I totally agree with you, Vicky. The Survivors Trust can put you in touch with your own support person, and they have lots of information on there as well. So hopefully that is helpful for you. You can use the stuff that I talk about in my videos, the techniques to help yourself bring self-care into your life. All of those things will help you. So it's really important to bear that in mind, but please don't struggle alone. It's absolutely, normal that your nervous system is going to be reacting in this way. If you think about it, your nervous system is scanning your environment, and decisions that you make unconsciously are based on your experience of life. And if your experience of leaving your house was that you were assaulted, then why would you leave your house? Your nervous system is saying to you, stay here, it's safe here. So it's about helping your nervous system to understand that yes, you are safe. You are safe. That would have been it was a one-off experience, even if it was a terrible experience. So I hope that helps a little bit, Lucy. You look after yourself. Welcome to everyone. If you're just joining us, we're kind of getting to the end. We've only got about 10 minutes left, but it's really really lovely that you're here. If you've missed it, then as I say, we've got 10 minutes left still, but it will be on my YouTube channel, so you can have a look at that. It's reachable through my profile link. And Lucy's saying, I just stay home because I feel safe. I can leave the house, but I get panic attacks if I feel I can't escape my environment safely. Yeah, I can understand that completely. So it's about reframing that core belief that your nervous system has, that outside of your house is not safe. Because I think that it's well worth going to see somebody, because they'll be able to really help you in your particular circumstance. So I hope that helps a little bit. Hello, Angel Kate. It's very nice to see you too. Thank you for being here. That is very lovely. Right, let's see. So my next one was Melody. Melody says she gets really anxious about being on time. And again, the thing with any anxiety is that there's always a cause. There's always a reason behind anxiety. And with that need to be on time, there are the different types of people. So it's sort of, I suppose it's, so there are some people for whom time isn't that important. They're very fluid. They're the people who always turn up late. They don't really care. It doesn't matter to them. It's about quality, not quantity, all of that thing. And then there are people who are much more about, right, I have to be on time, I'm going to be early. I'm one of those people. We are called judges. It doesn't mean you judge everyone, but it's about, I like to, if I'm going somewhere, I always get there early. I'll get there half an hour early, and I'll be there and I'll be completely prepared. I hate it if I'm late. I absolutely hate it. And maybe to a certain extent, you're like me, that it matters to you being on time. So it could be that. It could also be that maybe something's happened to make you feel anxious about being on time. Maybe you were told off once about being late. And so it's a case of reframing that. Also, it's, structuring our lives can be really helpful. Looking at, okay, when do I need to leave? How much time do I need to give myself? So that if you know that you're going to get somewhere really early, then perhaps there's no need for the anxiety. If you're always cutting it a bit fine, then what can you do about that? The anxiety side of things, so the practical side of things, is looking at what's going on with your your anxiety about being late. The anxiety side of things, what you can do is again, what I always say to everyone: create an environment of safety, bring self-care into your life, start to do the things that you love to do, because that is telling your nervous system, I'm all right, it's okay, I am safe. Probably what's also happening is that your brain is leaping to the future, thinking, oh, what if this happens? What if I'm late? What's going to happen if I'm late? What will everyone think? What will everyone say? What will that mean for me as a person? So if you can be more in the moment, that can be really helpful too. So I hope that helps a little bit. But have a think about that. Have a think about what is actually going on for you, and what is the thing that you're actually anxious about. Is it about being late? Is it about what that means to you? Let me see. So Claire, I think this will have to be the last one that I answer for today, but I'm really grateful to all of you that have asked questions. I really appreciate you asking them. My apologies if I haven't answered your question. It might be worth having a look at the categories on my grid on TikTok, because there are lots of categories there that I talk about stuff, social anxiety, health anxiety, and emetophobia. So that might be helpful. And also, obviously, have a look at my YouTube, because everything is listed there in the description, what I cover in that particular YouTube. So Claire says, what do you do about low self-esteem and thinking maybe that people don't like you? That's such a good question. And I really think that that's probably going to help a lot of people, because I think it's completely normal that we all have a need to fit in. We have a need to be liked, to be respected, to be loved, all of those things. And that need comes because we're hardwired by our history, by our nervous systems, because fitting in matters. If we don't fit in with our tribe, if you look historically, if we didn't fit in with our tribe, if we were seen as other or a bit odd or of a danger to the tribe, what would have happened in times gone by? Well, we'd have been shunned, ostracised, thrown out of the tribe, thrown out of the cave. We'd lose the fire, we'd lose shelter, we'd lose protection, we'd lose food. So what does that lead to? Well, that leads to us being out in the cold, in the wild, with the wild animals, and ultimately it leads to death, doesn't it? So it's really, really important at a really fundamental level that we fit in and that people like us. And if we pick up signals, if our nervous system is picking up signals, those micro messages from other nervous systems that, oh, I don't think they like me. Well, that might be true or it might not be true, but we don't know. A lot of it can be affected by our attachment style, by the way we've been brought up. You know, if we feel confident, happy, content in ourselves, if we've learned how to cope with difficult times, as we've grown up, we've learned how to co-regulate with people, how to self-regulate. And by that, I mean, we've learned how to feel comfortable within ourselves. Even in difficult circumstances, we know it's all right, I'm good enough, I can cope with this, all will be well. If we haven't got that, if we've grown up in a situation where perhaps the people around us were not very good at coping with difficult circumstances, or if we've, because of emotional difficult situations in our past, we've been made to feel less than, then that's going to have an effect on us now, because we're going to have that sense of uncertainty. You know, when we've been through traumatic times, then that makes the foundation of who we are very uncertain. And it's like the foundations on which we build our life are really rocky, because we've not been taught how to connect with other people, how to feel strong in ourselves. And it's difficult to know, can I trust myself? Can I trust the people around me? So what do we do about that? Well, I think it's a gradual process. You know, gaining confidence, gaining self-esteem is very much about being here and now in the moment. It's about connecting with people. It's about connecting to self-care, to begin to do things well, to begin to feel comfortable with other people, to learn how to regulate ourselves. And we can do that through breath techniques, by some of the physical techniques that I use, and also by self-compassion. You know, I know that when I always mention this and I say, right, speak kindly to yourself, and so many people, oh, thank you, Kalkan, that's very kind of you. So many people message me and say, I can't do that. I find that so hard to be kind to myself. And I can understand that it might be hard, but it's not impossible. And it's about starting small. So, even if that's just a well done, I did well there, or making yourself a cup of tea and drinking it and giving yourself time, all of those small things can begin to build the confidence inside you. I think also surrounding yourself with the right people, the people that make you feel safe and make you feel present, that can be really helpful as well. We can't really do very much about people liking us or not liking us. I know that there are people who don't like me, but I think perhaps for me, I'm at a stage where I don't care, because I think what can be really helpful is to live your life in a way that's driven by your values, and to know that you're living by your values. So for me, my values, the things that really matter to me, are honesty, kindness, and I try really hard to live my life every day by those values. And I think to myself, yes, I fail. Yes, there are times when I've made mistakes, I've made wrong decisions, and I've not been as kind as I could have been. But I just get up and I try again. So every day I know that I'm coming from a place where I'm trying my best to live by my values. And if you can look at your values and think, okay, what are my values? Am I living by them authentically? And if you are, then that's enough. If people don't like you for that, then that's more about them. That's about what's happening for them, what their life journey has been about. Does that make sense? So I think it's more helpful to look at the people that do like you, that love you, your friends, your family. And if people don't like you, it's their loss. Now, I know that's easy for me to say, but it's a work in progress for all of us, One of the reasons I'm feeling grouchy today is that I know that there's someone around me at the moment. I know she doesn't like me, and it's difficult, and I don't like it. But at the same time, I don't really care. But clearly I do care, because it's made me grouchy. I've gone into protection. So, what can you do? We're all human. It's all right. It's okay. And you don't have to be perfect. That's the thing, That's the thing. So I hope that's helpful and hopeful, Claire. You don't have to be perfect. It's all right. The people who love you, love you. I probably have the people on the fingers of one hand who I would say are my true people, the people who really helps. Let me have a little scroll through these. Let's have a look. And so user 19087, you don't need to fit in today at all. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You don't have to fit in today at all. You can, and it's wonderful. We're not going to be thrown out of a cave. If we want to not fit in, then we can absolutely not fit in. But what I'm saying is that in evolutionary terms, our nervous system hasn't caught up with that. So we still get, and not all of us, maybe for you, you're like, I don't care. I don't need to fit in and I'm not bothered, then that's great. But for most of us, we just have that need, and that's what it goes back to. So I hope that makes sense. Let's have a look. So I'm going to kind of, Claire, so I'm glad that was a bit helpful. I hope so. I'm going to kind of bring things to a close now. And I'll be doing another live next Friday. I need to look in my diary and sort out the time. But it has been so lovely to have you here. Thank you ever so much. If you have followed me, if you've liked anything, if you've shared the live, if you have interacted and had the courage to ask a question, if you said hello, if you told me what's your favourite sort of coffee, then that's been lovely. I genuinely can say, I'm sort of body scanning myself, thinking I don't feel so salty now. In fact, I actually feel pretty happy now, and that's because of you lot. What about you, Jasmine? How are you feeling? Are you still feeling grouchy and salty? Are you all right? I hope you're feeling a bit better. So Angel Kate says, yes, are you live every Friday, Sarah? Yes, I try to be as best I can. And Jasmine says, me too, not salty anymore. Woohoo! So that's so cool. Isn't it amazing? That shows you that is the power of the nervous system. Reaching out, we have reached out through the airwaves to each other to help each other feel okay. This is what co-regulation is. This is where you're with other nervous systems that make you go, oh, I feel safe now. I feel I'm all right. So that is really cool. So what was I going to say? Okay, so yeah, so the really important thing is thank you so much to my moderators. Thank you to Jasmine, who is no longer salty, but is hopefully feeling a bit better. Thank you, Vicky Hodgson. I hope you had a lovely coffee in Costa. Thank you for moderating. Thank you, Lynn 250. Now, I didn't see your coffee, but I have a feeling it had something to do with marshmallows and cream. So I'm totally with you there. But thank you for the three of you for moderating, keeping this a safe place, because that's what we want. We want a community where people feel safe and comfortable to come and ask questions and chat. So thank you all. I'm going to just stay around here. Don't forget, put it in your diary, the 5th of May. I'm hoping it'll be 2:00, but I need to confirm it with Hazel. We're going to be doing a joint live, the two of us. She's the co-creator of Betwixt, The Story of You, which is an amazing mental health app. She's also connected to the Clementine app. So maybe go and have a little look at those. With the Betwixt app, if you put in the code Sarah, then that will be brilliant too. I don't know what it does, but Hazel gave me that code to give people, so go and have a little look. But I'm going to be chatting to her, so if you are interested in the Betwixt app, if you're interested in her, she wrote this book, Fight by Hazel Gale. She's a QTH therapist. She's amazing. She's an international speaker. She's going to be here on Friday the 5th of May, so do come along to that. That'll be lovely. But next Friday I'll be here. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to stop waffling now, but take care. Hope you all have a lovely weekend. Be kind to yourselves, take care, and I'll see you soon. I'm just going to stay just for a little bit and look through the messages. Ta-ra. Bye bye, Elizabeth. Take care. Oh, thank you for following me, Annette. That's very kind of you. Hi, Lynn. I had a feeling that you'd be a marshmallow and cream girl. I like that on my hot chocolate. Oh, so thank you very much. It's really nice. Really nice. Oh, Julie, I'm struggling today. Gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that you're all right. I hope that today gets better for you. Bye, Jasmine. You take care. Bye-bye, Lynn. Love to you, and to you, Vicky Hodgson. You take care. Thank you for all your help. Have a lovely weekend. All right, I'm going to say goodbye, but take care, and I'll see you next Friday.